So next is about gram-positive cell envelope. So we have discussed the gram-negative cell envelope. Now next is about gram-positive cell envelope. The gram-positive bacteria have the cell envelope, which is made up of a thick layer of peptidoglycan. So comparing to the gram-negative bacteria, the peptidoglycan layer of gram-positive bacteria is much more thicker. The gram-positive bacteria are stained dark blue or violet by gram staining. Because of the thick peptidoglycan layer, it is capable of retaining the primary stain. While gram staining is a valuable diagnostic tool in both clinical as well as in the research settings, not all bacteria can be definitely classified by this technique, thus forming, so it is not capable of definitely classifying all the bacteria. There are some bacteria showing gram variable reaction and gram indeterminate groups are also present. It is mainly based on the physical as well as the chemical properties of their cell walls. Primarily, it detects peptidoglycan, which is present as a thick layer in gram-positive bacteria. The crystal violet primary stain detects the peptidoglycan layer. A gram-positive bacteria which results in a purple or blue color, while gram-negative results in a pink color. And this gram staining is almost and always the first step in the identification of a bacterial organism and is the default stain performed by the laboratories over a sample when no specific culture is required. So first step in the identification of the bacteria can be performed. First of all, we usually perform what? Gram staining. So we can differentiate the organism either into gram positive, then to gram negative, then only the further proceedings will be done in the laboratory. This is the gram staining reaction. It shows majority of gram positive rods, not rods, cocci, and also rods are also present, and also some gram negative cocci are also present. Pink color gram negative cocci, those are pink color, and near to this gram negative cocci, gram positive cocci are also present, and this gram positive bacilli are also present. Okay, and the size can be measured using a special scale. The size can be determined by measuring. In gram-positive bacteria, the cell wall thickness is 15 to 80 nanometer and it consists of several layers of peptidoglycan. In gram-negative, there is only one layer of peptidoglycan. And also, but in gram-positive bacteria, they lack the outer membrane envelope, which is found in the gram-negative bacteria where the lipopolysaccharides as well as endotoxins are present. Here, this outer membrane is not present in the gram-positive. Running perpendicular to the peptidoglycan sheets is a group of teichoic acid molecules, a group of molecules which are called teichoic acid molecules. Those are present within the peptidoglycan sheet, which are running perpendicular through the peptidoglycan sheets, and these are unique to the gram-positive cell wall of the bacteria. Teichoic acids are nothing but linear polymers of polyglycerol or polyribitol. Polyglycerol or polyribitol substituted with phosphates and a few amino acids and sugars. So these are the composition of teichoic acids. So these are the teichoic acid, which is running perpendicular within the peptidoglycan sheet. This blue color is peptidoglycan sheet, and the teichoic acids are running perpendicular within the peptidoglycan sheets. And this shows the cytoplasmic membrane, cytoplasm, and also the proteins present within the cytoplasmic membrane is called membrane proteins. So this is the structure of a gram-positive cell wall. The periplasm space can act as a reservoir. So within this peptidoglycan, then there is another space called periplasm, where the space where the periplasm is present is called periplasmic space, which can act as a reservoir for the virulence factors and the dynamic flux of the macromolecules, representing cells' metabolic status and its response to the environmental factors. So this periplasmic space acts as a reservoir for virulence factors. Together, the plasma membrane and the cell wall, which means including the outer membrane, peptidoglycan and periplasm. So lower to this peptidoglycan layer is called periplasm, which constitute a gram-negative envelope. So this I am telling about gram-negative bacteria's cell envelope. Okay, this slide is about gram-negative bacteria's cell envelope, and this about gram-positive. This slide, that means the teichoic acid polymers are occasionally anchored to the plasma membrane called lipoteichoic acid and apparently directed outwards the right angles to the layer of peptidoglycan. So we have already discussed about teichoic acids, which are perpendicularly seen or right angles to the layer of peptidoglycans. So this teichoic acid gives the gram-positive cell wall an overall negative charge. So this teichoic acids give a negative charge because of the presence of phosphodiester bonds between the teichoic acid monomers. So the teichoic acid monomers are joined together by a phosphodiester bonds to form the teichoic acid polymers, which gives a negative charge. And the function of the teichoic acids are not fully known, but it is believed it serves as a chelating agent and the means of adherence for the bacteria. The adherence character, the bacteria's character of attachment or adhering. This character is because of the presence of teichoic acid. It might be believed that the function of teichoic acid is like that. So these are the essential to the viability of gram-positive bacteria in the environment. This adhesion, and it may provide, this teichoic acid may provide chemical and physical protection to the bacteria. So these are the functions. I think this teichoic acid is a short answer question which can be asked. So this is about the structure of, when we are discussing this peptidoglycan layer, this is the structure of what? Muramic acid subunit of a peptidoglycan. It consists of two sugars, N-acetylglucosamine, ribose sugar, then N-acetylmuramic acid, and these are joined by a pentapeptide, that is a D amino acids, that is D-glutamic acid and D-alanine, then mesodiamino-pimélic acid. These are joined. It is joined by the amino acid peptide bridges. This is the peptide bridges, and this is the structure of what? Muramic acid. Consists of NAG and NAD, both sugars. The assembly. Next is the peptidoglycan assembly. On the outside of this plasma membrane, it is mediated by a group of enzymes which are present within the periplasm. Periplasm is the area which is lower to the peptidoglycan. So there are certain enzymes which are responsible for assembling those peptidoglycan onto the surface of the plasma membrane. These enzymes, the name of those enzymes which are present within the periplasm are transglycosylases, transpeptidases and carboxypeptidases. The mechanism of action of this penicillin and this related beta-lactam antibiotics, their action is to block this enzyme. Which enzymes? Transpeptidase and carboxypeptidase enzymes during the assembly of the murine cell wall. So this is the main function of the how this antibiotic attack the cell wall of the bacteria. That is saying, within the cell wall, peptidoglycan are present. During the assembly of this peptidoglycan layer, the enzymes present in this periplasmic layer, these are called transglycosylase, transpeptidase and carboxypeptidase. So this antibiotic, penicillin and other beta-lactam antibiotics, they are capable of blocking the enzyme activity within the periplasm. That is, it blocks transpeptidase and it blocks carboxypeptidase enzymes during the assembly of the peptidoglycan. That is, assembly of the murine cell wall. So what happens? The assembly of this peptidoglycan doesn't take place. It may result in the cell wall, the rigidity, strength, everything lost, and the cell breaks, the bacteria lyses. So this is the basic principle behind the action of antibiotics. Hence, the beta-lactam antibiotics are set to block what? Cell wall synthesis, because cell wall synthesis is blocked by preventing the assembly of the peptidoglycan layer. That is the main action of the antibiotics. Next, the glycan backbone of the peptidoglycan layer. Actually, this peptidoglycan layer, I told two sugars are present and it forms a backbone called glycan backbone. This can be cleaved by an enzyme called lysozyme. This lysozyme are present within the animal serum, tissue as well as in the secretions and also in the phagocytes also in the form of phagocytic lysosome. So the enzymes which are present, it's also present in our body. For example, in the animal serum, tissue, secretions, etc. These are capable of breaking the glycan backbone of this peptidoglycan molecule. So the function of the lysozyme is to lyse bacterial cells as a constitutive defense against the bacterial pathogens. Then there are some gram-positive bacteria there are some gram-positive bacteria and also certain